Your kind are not welcome among the Dalish.
Das alles nochmal zu spielen ist echt doof.
What's a Shemlin?
It means you're not one of the people, and you should leave now.
I'm not expecting tea and cakes. I just need to see someone.
There's nothing here for any human.
Wait. This is the one the Keeper spoke of.
A Shemlin? I thought she'd be an elf.
Enter the camp. Keeper Marathari has been waiting for you.
Cause trouble, and you'll meet our blades, stranger.
Marathari, I was told to bring you this amulet.
Andarana Tishan, travelers. Indeed, I am Keeper Marathari. Let me look at you. There's truth in your face. A rare thing in a human. Tell me how this burden fell to you, child.
Your guard said you spoke of me. How did you know I was coming?
I listened. To the wind, to the birds, as the hunters do, to my dreams. I watched the stars. There is great wisdom to be found all around us, if you know how to listen for it. But I was not certain. Nothing is certain.
A dragon fell from the sky, charred some darkspawn, then asked me to bring you this amulet. No big deal.
You are blessed by luck, then. I will pray that Mithal watches over your path. The amulet must be taken to an altar at the top of the mountain, and given a Dalish rite for the departed. Then, return the amulet to me. Do this and your debt will be repaid.
Are you going to teach me this rite for the departed?
I will send my first with you. She will see to it the ritual is done. And when it is complete, I must ask that you take her with you when you go.
If that's what you want.
It isn't what I want, but it is what she wants. You will find Merrill waiting for you on the trail just up the mountain. Dareth Shiral.
This mountain is cursed, I swear. 3 days in a row I've shot at and missed deer.
Maybe it's not the mountain. Maybe it's just you that's cursed, my love.
You always know just what to say to put my mind at ease.
So, Ballaslan blood writing. After my encounter with the Dalish elves on the road to Nevada, I studied every book on the elves I could find. I sought out legends and myths and history and tried to make sense of it all. But there's only so much one can learn from books. I knew that in order to truly understand the Dalish, I would have to seek them out, a dreadful idea in hindsight. In my defense, I was young, and I also inebriated when the idea popped into my head. Unfortunately, even after I had regained some measure of sobriety, the idea still held appeal. It proved remarkably resistant to my attempts to ignore it. I gave in after a month of that nagging thought at the back of my head and set out to learn about Dalish firsthand. I tramped through the forest bordering Orlais for weeks before I finally was found by a Dalish hunter. I stumbled into one of his traps and suddenly was hanging from the tree with a rope about my ankles. So there I was, defenseless, upside down with my rope over my head, my underclothes on display. Descriptions of my predicament might elect laughter these days, but trust me when I say it was a situation I would not wish on anyone. Thankfully, my ridiculous appearance may have caused my captor to stay his hand. What threat is a silly human with his pants showing? And so he said, made a small fire, and began to skin the deer he had caught. I soon mustered the courage to speak. I tried to assure him that I was not there to harm him, but he laughed at this and replied that if I were there to harm him, I had failed terribly. Eventually, we got to talking, and when I say talking, I mean that I asked him questions, and occasionally he would deign to answer. He told me that while some Dalish actively seek out human travelers to rob or frighten, most of his people would rather be left alone. He seemed to believe that punishing the humans for past actions only led to more violence. I asked him about the intricate tattoos on his face. He told me they were called Valeslian, blood writing. His were symbols of Andrel the Huntress, one of the most highly revered elven goddesses. He said the Dalish mark themselves to stand out from humans and from those of their kin who have chosen to live under after human rule. He said the Valeslian remind his people that they must never again surrender their beliefs. When he finished skinning the deer, he cut me down. By the time I had righted myself and conquered the dizziness of all the blood rushing out of my head, he was gone. I do not recommend that my readers seek out the Dalish for themselves. I was very lucky to have met the man that I did, and to have walked away from our meeting unscathed. Perhaps the Maker watches over those who seek knowledge with an open heart. I certainly would like to think so. Once again, by Brother Jenny Tippy.
Shemlin.
Ja.
Wonderful. Make your business here quick.
Ja, ich hab dir nichts getan. Alathan. Part 1. Before the ages were named or numbered, our people were glorious and eternal and never changing. Like the great oak tree, they were constant in their traditions, strong in their roots, and ever reaching for the sky. They felt no need to rush when life was endless. They worshipped the gods for months at a time. Decisions came after decades of debate, and an introduction could last for years. From time to time, our ancestors would drift into centuries-long slumber. But this was not death, for we know they wandered the fate in dreams. In those ages, our people called all the land El-Banan, which in the old tongue means place of our people. And at the center of the world stood the great city of Alathan, a place of knowledge and debate, where the best of the ancient elves would go to trade knowledge, greet old friends, and settle disputes that had gone on for millennia. But while our ancestors were caught up in forever cycle of ages, drifting through life at what we today would consider an intolerable pace, the world outside the lush forests and ancient trees was changing. The humans first arrived from Parvolin to the north, called Shemlin or Quicklings. By the ancients, the humans were pitiful creatures whose lives blinked by in an instant. When they first met the elves, the humans were brash and warlike, quick to anger, and quicker to fight, with no patience for the unhurried pace of elven diplomacy. But the humans brought worse things than war with them. Our ancestors proved susceptible to human diseases, and for the first time in history, elves died of natural causes. What's more, those elves who spent time buttering, and negotiating with humans found themselves aging, tainted by the humans' brush and impatient lives. Many believed that the ancient gods had judged them unworthy of their long lives and cast them down among the quicklings. Our ancestors came to look upon the humans as parasites, which I understand is similar to the way the humans see our people in the cities. The ancient elves immediately moved to close Evanan off from the humans for fear that this quickening effect would crumble the civilization. By Gisharel, keeper of the Ralafelin clan, Dalish of the Dalish elves.
It's not often we allow humans into our camp.
Es ist so schwer zu lesen. The Tale of Iron. In the days after the rising of Sasiskel, the Dark Ones covered every corner of the land. The archdemon drove all the nations of the world before him, Shemlin and Elven alike. In the far north, where the hills wander, the plains and the earth is internally baked beneath the uncaring sun, the lands which the Shemlin call Underfelds. A clan of our people lived struggling to survive the blight. Iron was their keeper, a hunter in his younger days, crafty as any wolf. He led his people always just ahead of the darkspawn who chased them. But the old hunter knew that even Hala cannot run forever. They must turn and fight or be run down. At the foot of the Meradane, the darkspawn cornered Iron's clan. That night the moon was strangled by clouds, the earth concealed by a dread mist that rose out of nowhere, so that the elven could not tell up from down. In the confusion, the darkspawn attacked, but Iron had prepared for them. All around the camp, the hunters had strewn dry grass, brush, and brambles. When the sound of rustling footfalls began, Iron and the other Haren called upon the old magic. They struck out with the lightning and though the balls missed the darkspawn, they hit their target all the same. The sea of kindling lit, and not one of the dark creatures made it through the fire to reach Ireland's clan. From The Tale of Iron, written by Zethrian, as it has been passed down from keeper to keeper for generations. Ja, den haben wir in Dragon Age Origins kennengelernt, den Zethrian.
And if there are human,
Ja.
people want you here, then be welcome.
Geography. Warum kann ich das nicht mehr aussprechen? Geography of Thedas. Thedas is bounded to the east by the Amaranthine Ocean, to the west by Tyreshan Forest and the Hunterthorn Mountains, to the south by the snowy wastes that lie beyond the Orkney Mountains, and to the north by Donark Forest. The word Thedas is Tevinter in origin, originally used to refer to lands that bordered the Imperium. As the Imperium lost its stranglehold on conquered nations, more and more lands became Thedas, until finally people applied the name to the entire continent. The northern part of Thedas is divided amongst the Underfeld, the Tevinter Imperium, Antivia, and Rivane, with the islands held by the Conari just off the coast. Central Thedas consists of the free marches Nevara and Olé, with Ferelden to the south. What lies beyond the snowy wastes is a mystery. The freezing temperatures and barren land have kept even the most intrepid cartographers at bay. Similarly, the western reaches of the Underfelds have never been fully explored, even by the Anders themselves. We do not know if the dry steppes are shadowed by mountains, or if they extend all the way to a nameless sea. There must be other lands, continents or islands, perhaps across the Amaranthine or north of Parvolan, for the Conari arrived in Thedas from somewhere, but beyond that deduction we know nothing. Once again by Brother Jenny TV.
Shemlin.
Okay. I show you. Yeah. Yuti.
Oh, I didn't hear. You must be the one the keeper told me about. Anethera. I'm so sorry. I didn't ask your name. Unless... It's not rude to ask a human their name, is it? I'm Meryl, which you probably knew already. I'm rambling, sorry.
Why are you leaving the Dalish for Kirkwall?
I have to. Let's leave it at that for now, all right?
I get the feeling you're in trouble.
It's not like that. Not exactly, anyway. The Keeper and I have disagreements, but it will sort itself out in time.
Did you hear that strange noise?
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Of course you didn't.
You seem awfully nervous.
You're only the second human I've seen up close. Last time was not a happy memory. A Grey Warden took away one of our hunters to fight the Darkspawn. I heard he fought the Archdemon. I wonder what's become of him.
My name is Hawk. Glad to make your acquaintance, Meryl.
Thank you. I'm afraid I'm not very experienced with your kind. The Keeper said you came from Ferelden. I spent most of my life there. We only came north a few years ago. Have you been in the Free Marches long? Do you like it here?
Oh, I miss the cold. And the dirt. Kirkwall's not brown enough for me. But hey, no Darkspawn.
Ferelden wasn't that brown. The dirt and muck gave it character. We should go. Your task is for Asher Belenar. It's not wise to make her wait.
Do you know the witch who sent me here?
No, not personally. My people tell stories of her, though. You're very lucky. Most people who meet Asher Belenar wind up in little pieces, hanging from the trees.
I take it you've been expecting me to bring this amulet for some time.
The Keeper brought us here to wait for you. I don't know much more than that. I do know that you have Asher Belenar's amulet, and we must bring it to the altar on the mountaintop. Nothing more.
What do we have to do with the amulet?
It's a funeral of sorts. I'll perform it when we get to the mountaintop. Getting there is the tricky part. Our hunters haven't been able to reach the summit. Dark things are about.
Let's get this over with. Gotcha! May Andraste guide you. The Keeper didn't mention you were a mage.
All keepers know a bit of old magic. The stories tell us that all Elven once had the gift. But like so many things, it was lost. It's a keeper's job to remember, to restore what we can.
Can't demons possess Dalish mages?
It can happen. And when it does, the clan must hunt and kill their own keeper.
Does the Chantry know about the Dalish mages?
Oh, they know. Keeper Marathari told me that was one of the reasons we never camped too long in one place. They usually won't pursue us if we stay away from the cities and towns and keep moving.
And no one minds having to pick up and move over and over just to protect a few of you?
Why would they mind? Once we've picked over a hunting ground, there's no reason to stay. But my clan is now in more danger, having lost our Hala.
If you go to Kirkwall, you'll be an apostate in a city full of Templars.
I know. But if I don't go to Kirkwall, I'll be alone. A solitary elf is easy prey for anyone. In the city, I can get lost in the crowd.
I'm glad you decided to pitch in back there.
Oh! Oh, you're welcome. I wasn't sure I'd be much good. I've done a little fighting before, but it was always alone. I'll try not to hit anyone. On our side, I mean. I'm babbling again. Let's go.
Süchen.
Now you fall!
So. Ich finde, die Unterbrechung ist sowas von unnötig. So, gerade mal schauen, bevor wir weitermachen. Das hört sich gut an, ja. Rüstung. Ah, endlich mal was anderes. Ich finde das schön, dass die Rüstungen hier vielseitig sind.
So the Keeper finally found someone to take you from here.
Yes.
Then finish your task quickly, human. We cannot be rid of this one too soon.
I'm sensing a story here.
I have made my choice. And I will save our clan whatever you think.
Sundermount seems very mountainous today, doesn't it? Lots of rock and hillside.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Let's go. We should hurry.
Oops.
A landslide blocked the path. There's a cave that should take us to the other side.
So.
I'm sorry. You're not really seeing the Dalish at their best. We're good people that look out for each other. Just not today, apparently.
But the Dalish are delightful. I was just thinking of inviting the whole clan over for tea.
I'm sure they'd never accept in a... Oh. Right. sarcasm. Even if my people don't appreciate my efforts, I must see this through. Let's go. Ashabelenar isn't known for her patience.